And then I started to see a lot of the writing on the wall. I think that AI and software is going to be able to automate everything that we were doing at our agency. I just had this epiphany of, do I wait and watch AI disrupt my business and slowly take it away? Or do I jump in early as an early adopter and try and be the leader? It doesn't always work. There's been many failures in early adoption for me, but this one worked.
Austin, welcome to the Point of Impact. I'm really glad to have you here.
Aaron, it's such an honor, brother. Thank you for having me on. I've seen everything that you've been doing over the last couple months that we've been connected online. And thank you for your service. Thank you for the amazing impact that you're making. And I'm just honored to be here along your side right now.
Wow, that was one heck of a reply. No, thank you. No, I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Same on the opposite is true. It seems like I just discovered you on social media just a few months ago, but you've had kind of almost like one of those 20-year overnight success type things where all of a sudden you're just exploding, millions of followers. But I don't know if that's all of a sudden, but all of a sudden since I just discovered you, this isn't an overnight thing. You guys started making money, actually marketing on MySpace in 14. That's awesome. I was, I was already in my 20s and, I was busy like doing the music things in the background and trying to find this code stuff that I knew nothing about and just making it just clunky. And then it was gone. Tell me, how did you get into social media, marketing, entrepreneurship, all that?
Yeah, it's crazy to think back on the entire journey. I was very early online. I had a computer in my room, maybe when I was 8 or 9 years old, maybe 10. And I just started tinkering online. I remember all of the early AOL chat rooms that were going around, and I was really intrigued by all of that. And then I was online for many, many years. And then when MySpace came out, I just fell in love with it. It was something that was very new. It was addicting. Let's call it what it is. I started to see these people that were gaining a lot of followers on their MySpace profiles. And I'm not really sure what interested me in that. Maybe it was seeking validation online, recognition. I was going through home trouble stuff at the time, but maybe I just wanted that attention. I don't really know, but I started to get involved in those online communities, and we started to help each other's accounts grow. I had hundreds of thousands of followers on MySpace, and I was able to monetize that in a lot of different ways. I had a software program very early on that helped other people grow their following on MySpace, and they paid a weekly or monthly subscription. I helped promote local bands and t-shirt companies, and I did email lead generation. So email marketers would pay me and other people to generate emails for them. And that was a very impactful point in my young life, and I kind of stuck with it ever since. Now, when MySpace went away, I didn't have a mentor in my life at the time or anybody that told me to really just keep going. This is a career path, because I don't think anybody knew that social media marketing could be a career path at the time. And it wasn't. So I was very active on social media through that time. I was early on YouTube. I signed up for Facebook when I was probably 16 or 17 years old. So I've been on these platforms for a long time, but it wasn't until I moved out to Orange County, California about 11 years ago, where my professional career really started. And that's where all this traction, really then started again. So I had that early bug, but I moved out to California. I found, an internship, at a video marketing agency. He became my mentor. And I worked my way up at that company. We ended up becoming, multiple time now business partners. He invested in my growth. And, I've just been consistent, brother, for 20 years, and I've been a full-time entrepreneur now for about 6 years, and it's truly a blessing.
Yeah, there's a few things that one is pretty industrious of you right at the beginning. At 14, the t-shirts, the marketing, helping others grow their profiles, becoming producers, creators versus simply a consumer. Right around that same time, I think at 15, I started my first entrepreneurial venture. I was just making crafts or something.
I love it.
Mom was in crafts, and I'd sold enough to take a trip to Australia and New Zealand.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's cool.
Once it was like that, that finish line, that goal, once that was over, the project was over. So kind of similar, but you were with that tech route and social media route, which is pretty awesome.
Thank you.
At least you weren't down shore hunting for snookies with my new haircut. So I couldn't help myself. Before I mentioned the Orange County connection, when did the Muay Thai come in? Because I read the book, and I definitely want to get to the book too, but was this East Coast or West Coast?
It started East Coast, yeah. So I lived in New Jersey, and a lot of my friends and I got into UFC pretty early. So we were watching UFC probably 17, 18 years old. A Muay Thai gym opened up right in the neighboring town. And so a bunch of us thought it was a cool idea to, I was 19 at the time when this opened up. A bunch of us went, we took a class, 5 of us went to a class. Only me and one other guy ended up signing up for those classes, for a paid membership, because all of us just kind of jumped into the free class. And, he and I stuck around for a couple months, and then he dropped off, and I loved it so much. I stuck with it. I was the only one of our 5 that stuck with it. And, I've unfortunately right now, I'm not actively training, but I was fairly actively training up until about a year ago. So for 15, 16 years, I've been actively training, Muay Thai. I don't really compete anymore. I used to compete many years ago. I was an amateur Muay Thai fighter, but I've learned so much, so many lessons, and how I build businesses and how I do everything really has stemmed from Muay Thai and that competition. So I loved it, man. I think everybody should learn martial arts.
Yeah, I agree. And in fact, it seems like there was this whole wave of jujitsu, and just about every high performing entrepreneur that I know, they do some sort of practice like that. In fact, speaking of Muay Thai in particular, isn't that what Tim Ferriss did? Mentioned?
Yeah, in 4-Hour Workweek. Yeah, he was actually a champion, I believe, because he kind of like figured out a loophole in the system. Wasn't that the thing? Now you got me thinking.
Yeah, he is a bigger guy, but he got like super dehydrated to get into the lower weight class and just push these poor guys around. But I think that's how the story went. And he would,
and
the loophole was if you just got him out of the ring, right?
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah, he read the rules and it was like, if you push your opponent out of the ring like 3 times or something like that, you automatically win. And so he just picked him up and threw him out.
This new guy that really sucks at this sport, this skill, the art. win by default. Anyways,
It's a story to tell, though. That's pretty funny.
yeah,
I forgot about that.
but you know what? Winning. Anyways, so why did you change shores? Move out west? Were you looking for something particular? Do you have a goal, or was it just a change of scenery?
A lot of those things. So I was living. I think I was 23 when I moved from New Jersey to California, and I was living with my girlfriend at the time, and we had split up, and so I was kind of having that quarter life crisis a little bit of what do I want to do with my life? I mean, I was always interested in film and video production. I thought maybe I was going to get into making movies and Hollywood and all of that at a time. And I just wasn't progressing in life that much in New Jersey. And my mom lived out in California at the time. My sister's in recovery. And so my mom brought my sister out to California for treatment. And so I just was like, nothing's really holding me here in New Jersey. Why not try? Why not try something new? I think in general, so many people never leave their hometown for a longer period of time, or maybe they go away for college and then they just come back and to comfort and what they know, and they never spread their roots and grow. And so I didn't want to be that person. And nothing against that, by the way.
Where on the real OC were you?
My mom lived in Seal Beach, California. Okay. And then I lived in Huntington Beach, Westminster. I worked in Irvine, kind of all over there. But yeah, I moved out in 23 and I loved it, man. It's where I met my now wife. It's where I met my now business partner and mentor. Actually, both of my business partners at my startup Syllabi. I have so much to thank for California. I lived out there for 8 years. It was an amazing transformational time for me. And it was probably one of the best decisions I ever made.
I went to second grade in Laguna Niguel, and my dad lives in Laguna Beach to this day. So
I love Laguna.
Spend every summer, 3 months out of the year in Laguna Beach. So I love that area. And I've always wondered
beautiful
how it's like the most famous county. Nobody talks about Irvine or Seal Beach. Huntington is pretty cool too. I used to do the junior lifeguard competition there. But,
nice.
Anyways, awesome. It's pretty cool. Small world, but it's always curious. People refer to that area by the county, and nowhere else do you do that. You start in marketing, and you start getting the hang of social media, right? And start getting back into it. Where did you start? I know you've settled on, or I guess you've focused on Facebook. You've got a huge following there, but you started with the videos and TikTok, or how did you get that ball rolling?
YouTube, actually. So when I moved out to California, I got involved in that internship that did video marketing and video production for YouTube for the behavioral health industry. So we did videos for therapists and addiction treatment centers and psychologists and everybody in the behavioral health space. And I really just loved that. We actually started so we had a network chat-oriented channel on YouTube. It was called Therapy Cable at the time. Doesn't really exist anymore. But we had multiple shows on that network YouTube channel. And I had started a show on that YouTube channel, and it was called Hike Talk, where we went hiking and talked about mental health problems and struggles in relationship of millennials, because I'm a millennial, and so were my coworkers there. And that's where I really started to get back into creation and personally creating videos myself. This was probably 11 or 12 or 10 or 11 years ago. And YouTube did very well. And we published a lot of those videos on Instagram and other platforms as they started to allow and push for video. About 6 years ago, 6.5 years ago, so that company failed. But my boss became my business partner at my first company, which was called Socialty Pro, which was a marketing agency. And that's where I really started to grow my personal brand online. And so it started with YouTube and LinkedIn. And then about 5 years ago, TikTok really started to grow in the United States. And that's when I jumped in. So I got very active on TikTok pretty early. I'm a big Gary V fan, Gary Vaynerchuk. And I grew pretty quickly on TikTok, and I was able to leverage that to grow on basically every other social media platform. Facebook has been my number one platform for, I guess, about 2 years now. It's been relatively newish in my world, but what happened with Facebook was 3 years ago, they rolled out an update that allowed you to switch your personal profile to professional mode, which opened up analytics and monetization options and basically allowed your profile to have all of the features that were on a page, and they were giving free reach. And so that's when I started to grow my Facebook profile, and it really started to snowball the last 2 years. This last year alone, 2025 was a ridiculous year for me on Facebook. I did 1.5 or 1.4 billion organic views, 1.4 billion, and I gained about 1.1 million followers just on Facebook. And so Facebook has become like the gravy train for me, if you will. But it's been a long journey, brother. It's been a long journey, man.
What was the development of the journey? Like you started with the videos, and it was YouTube, and then the short form with TikTok. And I did the TikTok thing, of course, like during the whole COVID lockdown. Didn't want to be the only one without a TikTok. My wife would film. It was Aaron Hale's Cooking with Outlook, and within, I think it was maybe a year, we were up to about 150,000 followers.
Amazing. Heck yeah.
Just consistency, right?
Yes, sir.
And I'm just a terrific personality, is really, anyways, back to you, the guest. You seem to be pretty meticulous about developing content and starting with quantity, right? Just get going, take action, and then adjust from there. So what was the evolution of your process?
Yeah, that's a great question. Also, that's amazing. You got to 150,000 followers on TikTok. That's no small feat. That's amazing traction, man. It's a lot of trial and error and pattern recognition. The process that I really developed and that I repeat is treating social media as a search engine, because people search for information in a visual way, just like they would on a Google search or, now AI search or whatever. People are typing things in and looking for results. And a lot of people take to YouTube and TikTok and all of these platforms to find results. And so the process really started with looking at long tail keywords, basically taking SEO and making it a video strategy. So working with different clients to find the questions that their prospective customers were searching for online, and then creating content around that, and then just meticulously testing the structure of each video. And I learn a lot. I love learning in this space. I have listened to so many audiobooks, so many podcasts. I go to so many conferences. I've paid for one-on-one consulting. My mentor paid for consulting for me before I could afford my own to pay for myself and invest in myself. And so just studying and coming to frameworks and formulas. And in my book, I have what I call the START video framework. And that really came from this entire process. And what that is and what that stands for is stop the scroll with a powerful opening hook. So that's how you start the video. And that can often be the SEO keyword or long tail question that you're answering. So you don't have time to talk about yourself immediately. Stop the scroll with a powerful opening hook. And then the T stands for talk about a problem associated with that opening hook. So this is where you're qualifying your audience. You're extending the watch time. You're building a little bit of rapport with the audience. They're hooked now because you talked about their problem. The A then stands for align and authority. This is where you can briefly talk about yourself, why you are the person that can help them with that problem that you just brought up. R is resolve the problem that you just talked about. This is where you're going to give your bulk of information, the meat and potatoes, just give your best information away for free. And then the T is tell them what to do. The final T is tell them what to do next. This is your call to action at the end. And it just was from producing thousands of pieces of content and studying even more pieces of content that was the evolution of how I create content and how I sort of framework every single video that I put up, as well as every single text post. Every text post that I put out there starts with an opening hook, and then it goes into like problem statement. It resolves the problems, and then there's often a call to action in the actual text post or in the comment section as well. And I stick by that and I stay consistent over time, and it's worked really well.
I think when I ask ChatGPT to help me with this process, it uses that first S in start is actually slop. So
that's funny.
You're putting out upwards of 20, 25 posts a day
on Facebook. Yeah. Not every platform, but Facebook. Yes.
Yeah. That's a lot of volume. Now,
yeah.
How do you grade that much? I mean, well, I have sometimes a hard time thinking of the next thing to say, you know? So yeah. how do you use these tools to create, is there like a brainstorming session? How do you do it?
It sounds overwhelming, but let me kind of walk through what I do on a daily basis. So particularly for Facebook, the first thing that I do every day is look at my memories on Facebook. And so the more that you post, the more that you essentially build a backlog of content that you can pull from. And so every day I look at my memories first and see what is a evergreen piece of content, something helpful, motivational, something that's still relevant. Sometimes it's images, sometimes it's a text post. And I'll probably get 2, maybe 3 posts per day just from that. I produce maybe 1 to 2 unique videos every day. Short form content mostly. I have recurring series that I create that help me stay in that lane. So for instance, I have ChatGPT secrets that you should know. Now I have Google Gemini secrets that you should know. I have a series of these 5 websites feel illegal to know. I have a series of secret AI tools you need to know. And so all of those fit a set framework where all I need to do is sort of fill in the blanks with a new ChatGPT tip, Google Gemini tip, 5 different websites. And so that keeps it fresh and easy for me to just sort of fill in the blanks of that framework. The other thing that I think most people overlook and don't like to do is it's okay to repost your top performing content. So if I had a text post or an image, and and I don't really do this with video. A little nuance there. The video algorithms tend to flag duplicate content, but not for images and text. So if you don't even need to look at your memories. In addition to that, I'll just type my name into the search bar on Facebook, or I'll scroll back far enough. If I posted something that did exceptionally well 3 weeks ago, a month ago, I'll just repost it because we all need to remember that the only person that sees every single piece of content that you create is you, and sometimes your mom, if they're really engaged with everything that you do.
My mom.
Yeah, I'm with you there too. It's okay to repost your top performing posts. You're not going to upset anybody. And then the other just really practical thing that I count towards those 20, 25 posts a day is that I'm in a share group of other people in my niche. So we call ourselves the AI Goon Squad. There's about 12 of us in there. Every day, I will share one of my posts in that group, and all 12 of them share it out to their audiences. And then I also share all 12 of their posts to my feed as well. And so between all of those little strategies, that's essentially how I get to 20 to 25, sometimes 30 pieces of content a day. Net new is maybe 3 to 5 posts per day. And you get there just from consistency and building that muscle. Like, I'm in a mental headspace that everything is content, and I get inspired. Like, I'll see a comment and I'll be like, oh, that's a good idea for a post. Oh, that's a good idea for a video. And then I'll create content on the fly, or I'll see some graffiti sometimes that says an interesting message, and I'll take a picture of it and post that on content. Like, everything is potentially content once you know who your audience is, what they engage with. And so I'm just constantly, for better or worse, it's also kind of an addiction, just call it what it is, but I'm so dialed in that I just view the world through the lens of content. But that's essentially what my day looks like, and how I'm able to get to that many pieces of content every day.
All right. To certainly keep you busy. And in fact,
it sure does.
You're that's not the only thing you're doing, though. You're not just a social media creator. You have your business. You got the syllabi. Then, of course, like you mentioned, author, just wrote a book, and you're creating other threads, other streams of income.
Yeah.
So it seems like you stay pretty busy online. How do you frame your day to fit the other work?
I am a ADHD entrepreneur, and I leverage that to be a superpower. I'm also quite good at delegation, and I am very much in favor of hiring people to do things that I don't like to do. You know, we were talking about 4-Hour Work Week. Great book. Also, Dan Martell's Buy Back Your Time.
Mm-hmm.
I love outsourcing a lot of the things that I don't like to do or don't need to do in order to free up a lot more of my time so that I can do what I love to do and get more of the benefits. So the more time that I have to do marketing, the more that all of my businesses grow, because I bring on the right business partners and staff members to execute a lot of those other things. And so my chaos is I will do some deep work, and then I'll get distracted, and then I'll go post on social media, and then I'll go back to that task, or I'll switch to another task, and then I'll get distracted, and I'll go to social media and I'll post. And so it's just a constant stream of working on something not to completion, procrastinating productively on social media, then going back and trying to finish that task, or starting a new task and then coming back to another task. I have like 1,000 tabs open in my browser at any given time. It's not the most efficient way, but it's worked for me.
And speaking of ADHD entrepreneur, do you know how long it took me to figure out how to log into Syllabi? And oh my gosh,
We got to make that easier. I'm sorry, brother.
No. It's the blind deaf guy with ADHD. I don't know if that's even a real thing anymore. Everybody
That's fair.
Has the social media screen time ADHD, but
I think that's fair.
I end up like sitting on my day, like getting ready to create some content, maybe some video, shoot some reels, and in about 20 minutes, I'm on Amazon reading through reviews of something stupid. What just happened here? But
I find myself doing that on TikTok all the time too. Like, why did I just buy this thing?
Man, they're good. Well, I don't even being blind. I'm really. I thought I was cured of impulse shopping. Yeah. Anyways,
what's something that's interesting? What have you impulse bought lately? Out of curiosity.
What do I impulse buy?
Yeah.
Oh, man, all the I don't know, cigars, bourbon,
nice
outdoor
I'm
stuff.
a bourbon guy too.
Running shoes. Right now, I'm getting ready. By the time this is out, I'll have come back. But in a couple of weeks, I'll be heading to Kilimanjaro. I'm going to run 204 miles.
Amazing.
From the coastline, and then head to hopefully get to the top of the mountain.
You are an absolute inspiration, brother. That's like that's so inspiring. I mean, that's my bucket list hike is Kilimanjaro. I'm going to be watching your journey. I hope you're going to document the whole thing.
I'm going to do my best, but I'm really bad at aiming the camera.
That's okay.
Thank goodness there'll be other people there. Can you imagine doing like an Instagram or TikTok where your forehead's always cut off? I don't know.
I think people would be a little forgiving. I mean, at least the views would be amazing.
Yeah. Just why are you focused on that like broke down car and there so totally derailing this conversation.
No, that's okay.
It would. Do you have this process for creating the content, and do you have your team systems in place? What was the impetus? What was the inspiration for Syllabot?
It's a great question. So it really came from wanting to automate everything that I was doing at my marketing agency, but also being a little fearful of AI in general and seeing the writing on the wall. This is going to sound maybe a little strange, but when I ran my agency, I always told my team, and this was pre-Syllabi, this was Socialty Pro, that we are not a marketing agency. We are a repeatable system of growth that happens to be in the current life stage of an agency. And I didn't fully know what that meant. I just was letting that sort of permeate in my brain and our culture. I actually thought I'm deeply inspired by everything that Gary Vaynerchuk does. And the original kind of thought of that mantra was that we would at some point start scooping up and acquiring businesses and pumping them through our marketing engine. That didn't end up happening. But when I sat back and started to look at why does a business hire us in the first place? What are all of the problems of why someone struggles with content creation in the first place, and why do they hire us? And it really broken down high level into, they know they need to be online to share their insight and grow their business, but they don't know what topics to create. They don't know what to say on camera. They need help staying consistent and accountability. They don't know how to do video editing. They don't want to do video editing, or they don't have time to do video editing. And they don't have time to schedule and publish videos to every single social media platform. That's why they hire an agency, or they hire somebody to do that for them. And then I started to see a lot of the writing on the wall of, I think that AI and software is going to be able to automate everything that we were doing at our agency. And I just had this epiphany of, do I wait and watch AI disrupt my business and slowly take it away? Or do I jump in early as an early adopter, bet on this shift, and try and be the leader? And that was the decision that I made. I love being an early adopter. It doesn't always work. There's been many failures in early adoption for me, but this one worked.
It was like ownership of your ADD. This is what we're doing now, but this is just a phase. We're probably going to move on to something else.
And I'm sure my employees were like, what the heck is this guy talking about? This doesn't make any sense.
We're always in transformation. And
we're always
I'm always looking for the next way to grow and evolve, right?
That's 100% it. That's 100% it.
Nobody knows where this AI is going or what's going to come out next or what innovation is going to change the world. It's happening fast. Anybody who is, I don't know if we should all be afraid of it to some extent, but anybody who is saying, I'm not going to touch it because it's too scary, really going to be left behind. In fact, speaking of recurring or reposts, you ask quite frequently, what jobs are safe, what jobs are not safe from AI. Yeah. I see that quite a bit.
Yeah, post, I do that again because every single time that I post it, it gets engagement, and so that's all viral oriented content is just doubling down on what posts perform the best. And if every single time I post a job that is 100% safe from AI, people go to the comments, it gets hundreds of comments, and then they start arguing with each other of what's safe and what's not safe. I'm going to keep posting that every couple of weeks because it works every single time.
What does Syllabi do? Who could use it? Who are your clients?
Any service-based business owner or content creator that is dealing with any of those problems that I brought up. You don't know what topics to create. You need help staying consistent and accountability. You don't want to do video editing. You don't have time to schedule and publish it to every social media platform. That's what Syllabi does. So it's the A to Z process. We show you the topics and questions that your customers are searching for online. So remember earlier in this conversation, I said my framework really started from finding the long tail keywords that your customers and clients were searching for. That's what Syllabi does in the idea discovery engine. It comes from my agency experience. So you type in your product, your service, pain point, your industry. It shows you all of those topics. It writes video scripts for you. It creates the entire video for you, fully edited, audio, background music, all of the scenes. And then you can connect every one of your social media pages and schedule and publish them out, fully automated. So if you don't have time to create social media content, but you want to get the benefits of social media, we've created over the last 3 years a quite robust video marketing platform to help you out.
Also, incredible marketing behind Syllabi.
Thank you.
The affiliate program, the Facebook group, the fact that you're linking back to it, you're having others participate, challenges, all that kind of stuff. It's an incredible ecosystem that you've developed over time. This, and not just that, but in fact, I'm even curious. You have a smaller tool or other tools. I don't know, smaller, but like Threadmaster. Why even create something that's seemingly extraneous or maybe even a distraction from Syllabi? What is, I'm curious, what is the platform behind it? What is that called, a micro app?
Yeah, micro. So great questions there. Yeah, the syllabi marketing ecosystem has been such a nerdy, fun thing for me to build because I've got 20 years of experience now, and I'm like, let me just loose. I couldn't do that with my agency. I didn't have the time. Agency is very stressful, but yeah, with syllabi, I can just hyper focus on just building out this epic ecosystem everywhere online, and it's been just, as a marketer, a blast to create it over the last 3 years. Kind of leans into the ADHD thing, but yeah, Threadmaster started as an interest of mine in a new sort of subsector within AI called vibe coding. And what vibe coding is basically if you're able to type into ChatGPT or any of these AI tools, you can create software or mobile apps now. And so you just say, it's a little bit more than this, but you could just say, create me a website that does X, Y, and Z that has these features. And it will code the entire thing for you. You don't have to be technical. Why I created Threadmaster was that I saw on Facebook last year, I mentioned that 1.4 billion views. 80% of those views were coming from text posts, long form educational text threads. And I was originally creating a lot of them myself, doing research and typing them up. And then I started to use ChatGPT and ChatGPT tasks to automate the creation of a lot of those. And it was performing exceptionally well. And then I thought, I was teaching all of this and everyone's so interested in how to do it. And then I got to the point where I'm like, well, let me try and vibe code a tool that makes this easy so that I can use it for myself at scale, but also help other people get the same results that I'm getting. And so I used a tool called Manus, which just got acquired by Meta, which is fascinating. Manus is a AI agent. It builds code, does everything. But I spent about 2 weeks to build Threadmaster. And then with some help from my business partner developer, we got that online. And I just started marketing it through results-based marketing. So just saying, this is, I'm reaching hundreds of millions of people on Facebook. It's paying me a lot of money. It's all text. Here's how I'm doing it. I made you a tool that can help you do it too. And that worked really well. So that Threadmaster has about 2,000 active subscribers right now. And then I get to the point where I'm like, well, let me just try and do it again. So none of them compete with Syllabi. They're separate. But the other thing with Syllabi, I was talking about this with somebody, my business coach yesterday, actually, is that since Syllabi has been around for 3 years now, it's funny to say this, but we're handcuffed in some degree on the amount of time that we can spend on it from like a code perspective, and there's limited gains from more time in the platform. So there's only so much that I can do to spread the word and enhance what we have in Syllabi on a daily basis. And I have more hours in the day and more capacity in my brain than just what I can allocate towards Syllabi. And so it's just kind of my job on social media too, to test out the newest evolutions and tools and features in AI. And so I start to create these other micro SaaS tools and just see what I can create. It allows me to test the market. It allows me to test pricing models quite a lot faster. Annual only, monthly only, different price points, free trial, no free trial, pay up front, lifetime deals. It's allowing me to experiment faster so that I gain more knowledge in quicker pacing. And it's just been a lot of fun, man.
It's really fun just to put prompt into Threadmaster like killer bee attack and see what it pumps out. Alien invasion. And you know what? Some of the recommendations are really good. Really good.
It's trained on like hundreds of top performing posts and text threads. So like it should give you, no matter what you type in there, if it's in your niche, it'll give you a text thread that's probably going to perform pretty decent and hold people's attention.
Yeah, well, but still, business related. So it'll say something like, "I made an extra $10,000 a month surviving killer bee attacks by taking these precautions."
That's funny. That's a funny nuance, actually. I'm gonna have to test that. That might be like a little too strict on the prompting, actually.
Oh, it's so great. But okay, so you got the Threadmaster is syllabi, and I understand about the coding and the syllabi, but you've even, I think, floated the idea recently about it seems like it's pretty much done for you, but now you're talking about actually offering management, or you doing the startup process, or even the little part that isn't already done for you by the software, the program offering that service. Is that something? Is that the next iteration?
Yeah, I've been asked about this a lot because, and I'm starting to put those feelers out there because it's just, you can't ignore what a lot of people are asking for. There seems to be a trend there, and so syllabi it's supposed to be intuitive, but for a lot of people, they still don't have the time to log in and set it up. Even though we've really tried to make it very simple.
They're too distracted is what it is.
There's so many things. And so like, I just keep getting asked over and over and over again, can somebody just set up my syllabi account for me and set up all this automation? And so, I'm getting to the point of, yes. I mean, there's so many things that we can, like I test small and scale things. So we have some long-term power users of syllabi, and I want to give back to them as well. So, for instance, Casey Watkins, shout out to Casey. He's been a long-term syllabi user. He's doing, he does webinars for us sometimes. He's doing a webinar right after this. Actually, he's a big affiliate for us. He knows the ins and outs. He's grown and monetized multiple social media channels entirely using syllabi, and he loves doing marketing and strategy. And so I approached him. I'm like, Casey, what if we do a rev share where I offer a done for you service on syllabi where we charge, maybe $1,000 a month or $500 a month or something, somewhere in that range. And we do everything for the person. So it comes with a subscription. You don't have to go in to syllabi and like create the videos and schedule and publish them. We'll actually do it for you. So it's even, it's even lazier of an approach, to be honest. Like just throw money at the problem to like automate all of your content. And everyone's like, take my money. Like I put that feeler out there yesterday. I saw that last night. I got like 5 DMs already. Where do I sign up? Can I be a beta tester? Please let me know. So that to me is like an offer that makes sense to offer because people are going out of their way to give. Syllabi only costs $29 a month, by the way, to get started. And people are like, take my $1,000 a month, do it for me. So I'm like, oh, okay. Like we'll set this up for you. It works. We have so many case studies. I'm growing channels every single day with syllabi. It works. People are they don't even want to take the time to learn a new software. So, we're probably going to roll that out pretty soon because it just makes sense. It's high. I'm seeing clear demand. People want it. It will absolutely help people. It solves their problem of time. So why not?
My next question, though, is what does the client do? What's left for the client, that small business operator?
Just handle the sales, I guess.
Yeah. Just cash those checks, right?
Yeah, just cash those checks. I mean, we're moving into a completely automated world.
Then how do you, going back to that, how do you create quality versus slop if now you've got that the source, I guess, your client isn't even almost not even involved in the process.
AI slop is like a somewhat generic term now. And I think we actually need to define it a little bit, because my thoughts are, if you're still showing up and then the next piece of content that you put out is genuinely helpful for your target audience, they get out what they need, it provides some sort of entertainment or value for them, and it gets them to take the next step and contact you. And even outside of business generation, if I search for something online and I get an answer that is truthful, helpful, and I get what I came for, why does it matter if it was created by a person or AI? That's a question that I deal a lot with, and nobody really gives me a good answer on that. What does it matter how it's created? I mean, even before this, like, there's so many ghostwriters of books. There's so many virtual assistants that created content on your behalf. Maybe the idea came from me, and same thing with AI. The idea comes from you. So what's the problem? Is that slop? I don't think so. I think all AI content is not slop. I think strategic AI content that solves problems, helps people, answers their intent is good. It's just the new tool to implement. Every industry has evolution from technology. I think, not to get too philosophical here, but I think art comes from the idea, the divine intervention that brought you the spark to create something, your art, whatever format that is. And then there are tools used to execute and create that actual art. Your hands, a pencil, a pen, a camera, etc. AI is just the new tool that helps you create your artistic vision to the world. And that's how I view this.
Well, that's an excellent answer, by the way. But I'm just thinking the whole time of it's like a perpetual fight with ChatGPT to give me something different.
I agree. I think that's a ChatGPT limitation now. I mean, I think they've slowed a roll. I think Gemini and Claude are much better right now than ChatGPT. Honestly.
Oh yeah. I think it seems like it got dumber. Oh, it got slower, lazier.
I agree.
Anyways, yeah. But you are also, besides Syllabi, Threadmaster, so the other things you're doing, you have a conference, right? AI marketing conference.
Yep.
And that was another one of those things where you came on almost like a guest speaker and then kind of took over. How'd that work?
Yeah, that's a really cool story. So shout out to Scott and his wife Camber Simpson. So this conference is it's AI Marketing World, but it used to be called Video Marketing World. And I have just an amazing story with this conference. I first attended it in 2019 and I think I had just started I guess my agency had been around for maybe its first year at that point. But I flew out to this conference and nobody knew who I was yet at that time. I love video marketing. I was interested, and I'm going to conferences. I'm networking with people. I'm learning. I had an amazing time at that conference. And then 2020, COVID happens. Conference goes virtual. I don't attend that year, but I grow that year. Like you, I jumped on TikTok pretty early on, started to grow, use TikTok for my business. And I cold DM'd Scott Simpson on Facebook and said, "Hey, Scott, I'm starting to get into public speaking. This is a dream of mine. I had attended Video Marketing World in 2019. I know you haven't had a TikTok speaker yet. I took all of that information and I started to grow on TikTok. I have about 50,000 followers right now. It's growing my business. I would love to be considered as a speaker. Long story short, he sort of interviewed me and then he invited me to lead the first ever TikTok for Business panel at Video Marketing World in 2021. I went in with no ego, thankful for the entire situation, very well prepared. I think knocked it out of the park, got great reviews. So I was invited back in 2022 as a standalone keynote speaker. That was the first real stage, real conference that I ever spoke at as a standalone keynote speaker. I've done little things here and there. And they gave me an award at that conference as well, for earning, $1 million with video marketing. This was just amazing. And then unfortunately, another very large conference came in and squashed Video Marketing World. So they came into the same city. They moved from a different state. They put it at the same weekend. It was obviously very intentional to crush this smaller, several hundred person conference. And, it was on hiatus in 2023 and 2024 because this other big conference came in. Meanwhile, I'm still growing. I'm still staying consistent. Scott and I are good friends. He's been my client. I've been his client. We've referred each other a bunch of business. We get along amazing. And I'm starting to grow really heavily in the AI space. And so the beginning of maybe the end of 2024, maybe the beginning of 2025, I contact Scott and I'm like, man, I want to get into the conference space. Let's rebrand this as AI Marketing World. What do you think? And we became business partners. And so 2025 was the first AI Marketing World, and it had more attendees and grossed more revenue than every other year of Video Marketing World. So it's the most successful of that conference ever with this rebrand. And we're doing it again this year. So it'll be October 21st through 24th, aimarketingworld.co in Dallas, Texas. And it's going to be amazing. So we had about 450 tickets sold last year. We're aiming for about 750 this year. It's going to be a pretty big conference. Super excited about it. We've got robots. But yeah, it's just consistency. It's playing that long game of building connections and showing up and not having an ego and just being a good person to work with. And you can accomplish anything. It's just been such a cool story from like person in the back of the room to owning the conference.
That's awesome. It sounds like a great time, and you must be extremely proud about how you've influenced that. As well as all of this
it's a blessing.
Creations. But we haven't even mentioned much your new book, and it's like this incredible playbook for how others can use social media and AI to create online and actually get some traction. Can you tell me how you developed it and what's inside?
Yeah. So the first part of the book is about my 20 years of experiences in marketing and the lessons that I took away from everything. We've talked about a lot of them on this podcast today. The journey on MySpace, Muay Thai, finding traveling across country and finding a mentor, to becoming owner of this marketing conference. It's just a collection of the stories of being a lifelong marketer, and overcoming a lot of failures along the way as well. Life's not always that easy. And then the second half of the book is very much a practical workbook. Individual strategies, frameworks that you can follow, a little bit of that dark psychology hacks to increase your engagement. And at the end of every single chapter has a page to write in, what were your top 3 takeaways? What are the next 3 action steps that you're going to take? And what is the timeline that you're going to give yourself in order to accomplish those actions? And it's been amazing. So I was working on it for over a year. I hired a book coach. Shout out to Janelle Villers with Say That Publishing. I went through her 12-week book authorship program and course. So I really wanted to invest in myself again. I love investing in myself. It was a big life goal, bucket list item to write a book, and I wanted to do it right. So I went through her course, and then I also hired her and her editor to help me edit the book. So we spent, every week for 6 months straight just editing this thing, going through everything, organizing everything, just pulling this book together. And it took about a year to write the entire book. And it's all in color, by the way. There's a lot of color pictures throughout my stories and examples and case studies. I've been very blessed and fortunate to have about 4.5 million followers online across basically every social media platform. Billions of organic views. I've helped hundreds of business owners and content creators in different industries go viral and grow their businesses and accomplish amazing things on social media. And this book is everything that I've learned and everything that I've known and have done in marketing over the last 20 years. It is just me in a book. And I hope and frankly know that it will help a lot of people, that if they just go through it and take action on what they learn. I just really hope that this book helps change people's lives.
Well, I enjoyed it. And there's a lot of great tactical information in there.
Thank you so much.
Action plan. Can you parse the strategy from your topic area? Okay, so the strategy works, but your content is about AI, which is a very popular subject. So what I'm saying is the strategy, right, behind it, all the strategy and the tactics, the content posting. If you switched to another subject, or your clients, they switch, they have other topic areas. Do you see the same kind of growth or similar type growth? Or do you think that meteoric, that tidal wave had a lot to do with the subject matter?
I'm not denying that by any means. I've caught multiple waves very early. I've been blessed with that, but no, I mean, we've had lots of successes. I think I've grown maybe 15 TikTok channels to for various clients to past 100,000 subscribers in so many industries. Medical doctors, podiatrists, psychologists, lawyers. I worked with an autism nonprofit center for a while. One sold outlets, it flattens against the wall and an extension outlet. I worked with so many random industries and we've had, and those are just ones that have gotten to 100,000 followers. I mean, we worked with so many businesses. I owe a backyard pool, koi pond, installation company. I mean, so what you have to focus on for growth is think about, a funnel of content. So at the top of the funnel, you have your broad viral potential, awareness oriented content. This is at its furthest reach of a potential client. It stretches it a little bit. So this is where I like to live, that top of the funnel where it's going to reach the most amount of potential people. Middle of the funnel, you have your longer form content, how to, behind the scenes, building rapport oriented content. And then down at the bottom of the funnel is your transactional oriented content, buy my thing, limited time offer, et cetera. And so if you can study what's working on these platforms, and it doesn't even have to be your industry specific. It can just be formats of content like skits, editing style, something fun and fresh, and then pairing that with industry tropes or unique perspectives and things that you do, things that create curiosity gaps, things that elicit emotional responses. You can really tap into this in any industry. And I go into a lot of that in the book, for instance. So like, and it's about remixing things. So like, for example, house tours for a real estate agent, very common type of post. Here's what $500,000 can get you in Dallas, Texas, for instance. And you go through the house and yada, yada, yada. They can do well, oftentimes, sometimes boring, right? How do you remix that with something that's interesting? And, or plant little Easter eggs. So for example, there was a lady, I forget her name. She was not a client, by the way, but this is just an example that came to mind. She did a house tour video, but she leaned into a style of video, called ASMR, which is like soft spoken, relaxing oriented content.
I know what that is. I've heard of that.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
So
yeah.
It's very popular, like unrelated to her niche whatsoever. It's just extremely popular. And so what she did is, she whispers in each room of the house, and she's like, here's where I would play hide and seek in this house. I'm in the kitchen. Can you guess where I am? Is it behind the counter? No, I'm in the fridge. And it's funny. It's quirky. It's something unrelated. And those videos get tens of millions of views for her, and she's freaking crushing it on every social media platform.
That's amazing.
And so like, you can make the most unsexy, boring industry interesting, by just having a little personality, flipping the script, tying into something that's highly viral, unrelated, and making something fresh and something new.
That's awesome. What about, can you say, somebody maybe with a great personality, but virtually no marketable skills? Never mind.
I disagree with that statement. I think everybody can learn and apply some of this stuff.
I'm kidding. Kind of.
You're great, brother. You've already proven to go viral. Your podcast is crushing it. You had a TikTok channel, 150,000 followers.
Well, I tell you what, I would love to hear you praise me some more. But I know we're going long, and I respect your time. So why don't we segue into the final segment?
Sure.
The countdown to impact. 3, 2, 1. 3 books, 2 quotes, and 1 person who have all made an impact in your life.
3 books. The Alchemist, Buy Back Your Time, Dan Martell, and Crushing It, Gary Vaynerchuk.
Those are all great. There's also Crushing It in apartment buildings. Never mind. But those, I love all those books. 2 quotes, 1 person.
From Socrates, true wisdom is knowing you know nothing. Paraphrased, I think. And Gary Vaynerchuk, attention is the asset. The one person that I just have to say that has brought the most impact in my life is my now business partner, Dr. G. I mentioned him and alluded to him multiple times throughout this podcast. So I've known him now for about 11 years. I started as an unpaid intern under him, and then a paid intern, and then a part-time employee, and then a full-time employee. He's invested heavily in me in sales training and one-on-one training with consultants, and sent me all around the country to conferences to learn, and brought me along to multiple companies that he was involved with. And then we became business partners in my first marketing agency 6 years ago. He's my business partner now in Syllabi. And I have so much to thank him for.
That's really great that you had such a mentor, sponsor, just someone to support you. That's fantastic. You say Dr. G?
Yeah, he's a clinical psychologist, so PsyD. But yeah, Dr. G. Asan Garajadagi is his name. Yeah,
I've had Doc G, different guy, I think, for sure, on the show a couple times now. He's a hospice doctor.
Oh, wow.
He went from hospice to financial independence, blogging, podcasting, all that kind of stuff. Anyways, not to hijack the segment
Not at all.
But okay, so final two questions. If anybody wants to find out more, where can they go? Where do you send them?
My main website is austinarmstrong.ai. That will have most of the links. My book is on there, most of my social media, the AI Marketing World Conference. But if you just want to search for me on your social media platform of choice, my name is Austin Armstrong. I am not the defensive coordinator coach of the Florida Gators, Austin Armstrong, nor am I the 6-foot-tall relationship vlogger in LA, Austin Armstrong. I am that nerdy AI entrepreneur right in the middle.
There's somebody on YouTube talking about his girlfriend / wife or something. There's a lot of views. Anyways,
he's a pretty big influencer. That I DM'd him on Instagram one time. I'm like, "Hi, Austin Armstrong. I'm Austin Armstrong. Let's collab." And he never responded back.
But then again, you're not the only Austin Armstrong in the family, right?
Well, so yeah, that's a fun fact. So my wife's name is also Austin, but she did not take my last name because that would just make mail very confusing.
Yeah. So you just go by last names in the house?
Context clues, but no, that would have been way too confusing if she took my last names. Life's funny, man.
That's great. You're like, no, I am the Austin Armstrong. You should petition YouTube or something.
We joke that if she took my last name, it would be the long game of identity theft.
Whoa, that's awesome. Yeah. All right. Last question. What's your definition of living a life of impact?
Such a good question. If I love what I do every day, I help people and see the messages, the emails, the comments of people that I've helped every day, and I'm able to have the time freedom and the location freedom to do that anywhere. That is what impact, a life of impact means to me. And I think after many, many years of grinding, not making a lot of money, I've carved that life for myself. And I'm very fortunate to be able to help a lot of people every single day and be able to support myself doing it.
Social media, advertising, marketing, television, all of it, the internet, it's always evolving. It's ever changing. And it makes it really difficult for business owners, small business owners in particular, to let their customers know, where they are, who they are, what they're about, and connecting the business with their customer base. Mm-hmm. It's a huge challenge to get through all the noise.
Yes, sir.
So, it's incredible that you're making these tools and, helping them, guide them to connecting with their customers. So, including me. So thank you.
Let's go.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. I'm going to brainstorm some more fun ways to try to trip up Threadmaster.
Please let me know.
And hopefully, I'm going to share all of the tutorials for syllabi with my virtual assistant because I'm a train wreck when it comes to that. But
got your back. We do free one-on-one demos, by the way, too. So if you'd like to have your assistant schedule a demo with our team, I'd be happy to line that up for you.
That's awesome. Thank you very much. Really love talking to you. Wish I could do this more a bit longer, but we've got my own rules of the podcast link.
It was a great conversation, brother. God bless. Thank you for your time.